to eat crow? A lot of Europeans and a lot of Northerners won't know what eating crow means. They're like, what the hell does that mean? You Southerner? I say there, boy, what does that mean? It means apologize. I gotta apologize to Nikon. Because everything is about perspective, okay? There's not that many lens manufacturers out there. And, let's take Sigma junk, for example. Junk. It's like, well, some of those Sigma lenses are made in Japan, and they're made out of metal. And then I go, that's true, but their failure rate and their sample variation is disgusting. As other people have confirmed, and you can confirm yourself, going to any large camera store, offer somebody $10, like, I want $10 of truth. Make sure they've worked there like 10 or 15 years, which most people don't do. And there's not many camera stores around anymore. It's like, I want 10 minutes of the truth, just 5 minutes. Tell me about Sigmas, like, it's junk. Do you get a really high commission for selling it? Yes, we do. That's why we push the stuff. It's got a really high spiff percentage. Spiff means your hand is getting greased for selling that lens. Tell me which lens has the highest return rate. Sigma. Yeah. Now, some people, and a very, very, very few people, is like, my Sigma lens is 10 years old and it's still working. It's like, that's good. There are some lemon cars out there that have been recalled endless times, and it is a known lemon. But there are a few examples of it that people are still driving around nice and happy with. So what you have there is what we called a limited sample hyperbole of a single unit in your hands that is still working. That is not representative of the broad spectrum. I have to apologize to Nikon. I don't have to apologize to anybody. I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I'm going to apologize to anybody unless I actually do need to apologize to them. There's a lot of plastic lenses. You know, you don't hammer stuff with your lenses, right? You know, ultimately, there's some really awesome plastic lenses made in China by Nikon. The 500 to 200, it was just very reasonably priced. I got 2 of those damn lenses made in China. It's plastic. Now, there are some sample variations on that. Not too high, though. Not too high. Some people have, some really, really picky people, however. It's like I had to get 2 of them before I got a good copy, but it's hard to make a really awesome big zoom like that perfectly. Nikon's quality control in China is excellent, and even though it is in China, and even though it's made out of plastic, the longevity of those plastic lenses, like the 24mm 1.8G, the 20mm 1.8G, you know, they beat the hell out of any of the Sigma lenses. So, you know, I have to admit, and I don't have to admit because I knew this to begin with, but I kind of give the wrong impression. I talk about Nikon kind of going in the wrong direction, and they are. I mean, the D500 was a huge success from Nikon. Huge success, but I have to be fair to Nikon. You know, their sample variation, their quality control on their lenses is very high. The failure rate is the lowest. It is lower than Canon. The only people that actually it's not lower than is like a Zeiss or a Voigtlander, but those don't have autofocus drives in them either, so you know, that accounts for it. When you've only got metal and glass and spanner rings that are locking the elements in, there's not much to fail, so we have to take that into consideration. So Voigtlander and Zeiss and Leica are higher than Nikon, but as far as autofocus lenses, Nikon sits way up here. Right underneath them is Canon. Now Fuji has not been around enough with the X series to give a sample spectrum of comparison. From all indications, they are above Canon. They are above Canon. I mean, I've taken apart enough lenses and know lenses well enough to, even though I can't project into the future on the Fuji X series, which have not been around for that many damn years, that they are. I know for a fact, having seen a few of them taken apart. I would like to have a pile of broken Fuji lenses. I would be taking them all apart and showing you all the... I would love to have a pile of broken Fuji lenses. I love broken lenses. I love broken lenses. Anybody got some broken Fuji lenses? Please send them to me. I will even pay for them in some instances. Pay for totally broke. I don't care if it's been sitting at the bottom of a lake for a week. I don't give a damn. I don't care if a giant dog pooped on it and it is full of rust and fungus and you left it outside in the rain. I still want it. But I know the actual Fuji lenses are better made. than the Canon. So they're probably actually better than the Nikon as far as longevity. Modern Nikon versus modern Fuji lenses. So we have Fuji and Nikon. Below that is Canon. Right below that is Tamron. Tamron is really upping their game a whole lot lately. They're actually poised to excel over Canon reliability. They are. They really are. That's not my hyperbole or my speculation or my opinion. But way the hell down there. Samyang, Rakinen, I mean, that stuff, when I'm talking about Sigma, they are at the bottom of the bucket. So even though I've given Nikon a lot of lip, talking about Nikon doing the wrong thing, which they are doing the wrong thing by discontinuing some of their best lenses, in comparison of the spectrum of lenses that are out there, Nikon is the tits. Their quality control, even their plastic cased lenses made in China, their quality control, as far as decentered elements and whatnot, and quality control is spectacular. Okay? So I have to give Nikon credit. It's like Nikon ain't Sigma, It's like, well, some of these Sigma lenses are made in Japan, and they're made out of metal. Yeah, you know what that means? It doesn't mean a lot. If the quality control is bad, or they're made at breakneck speed, and the sample variation is bad, and the quality control is bad, just because it's made in Japan doesn't mean it's awesome. MacBooks are made in China. They're made with incredibly high quality control and specification standards. MacBooks are excellent. They're certainly better than any damn PC laptop. I've owned more You think I own a lot of lenses? Oh, damn. You should see how many laptops I've owned. Oh, damn. Nothing made better than a MacBook Air, for example. Nothing. There's nothing made better than a MacBook Air. That all the money in the world, still own a MacBook Air. Still would own it. I'm not a gamer. I don't need 10,000 gigs of RAM. I'm not a game player. If anybody wants to bitch about that, computers are a productivity tool. It's not there for, scratching your privates and playing games on the internet. I don't own a computer or a laptop for that reason. So anyway, kudos to Nikon for making such an excellent product. And your quality control is incredibly high. Even your lenses that are made in China. However, we do have to admit, the 200 to 500 Nikkor is very reasonably priced. Some of your lenses, like your primes that are made in China, they're astronomically priced, and Nikon is pocketing the difference on infinitely cheaper labor costs. They are. They just are. However, if that lens was made in Japan, would it be more expensive? Labor costs would be higher, production costs would be higher. Turnaround time, output, volume would be less. So, yeah, it would be higher. Less people would buy it. But still, they are pocketing the difference on the labor costs for sure. But the products are awesome. And so, Nikon is awesome on their lenses. Even the plastic-bodied lenses that are made in China, because nobody else is topping them. Not made in China, anyway. Actually, I think Fuji's modern lenses, which were made in Japan, beat Nikon's plastic lenses made in China, as far as quality control and whatnot. They do. But they have not been out there long enough yet to determine that. However, I've seen a few Fujis apart, and the inside build quality is extremely high. It is even higher than that of Nikon. So, without actually a prolonged examination of failure rate, I'm basically short of 100% certain that Fuji, like on this lens made in Japan, the 16 to 55, and the rest of their Japanese lenses are made to better specifications, tighter tolerances, and better build quality than Nikon's are. But even if you place them both side by side, way the hell above. Then we got Canon, then we got Tamron. At the bottom of the bucket, we've got Sigma. So everything has to be put into perspective. If you got $100 million, you open up your own lens company, which is about what it would take. Go ahead and do it. It's like starting up a car manufacturing company, It's like, oh, how much do you need to start up a new car manufacturing? Oh, about 10 billion government permits, EPA permits, a few $100 million. It's like, well, screw that. That sounds like a bad business idea. It's not too different than anybody even thinking of starting up a lens manufacturing company. You can outsource the manufacture of the lenses, however, and CNC machine the barrels and whatnot, so it's not that expensive, but it is kind of astronomically expensive. Thanks for watching. Bye.